Hey everybody, it's Matt, and we are live on the interwebs. Hi, I'm Matt, everybody. Welcome to Virtual Happy Hour here at 11 Winery with me, and Natalya is going to be on the line shortly. Hey, Natalya.
I'm here.
Okay, how are you today?
Good. Enjoying the sunshine from inside, but I get to look at it all day, which is nice.
Yeah, tricky. Yeah. How's your day been?
It's been slow. Again, I think people are outside walking around, enjoying the sun. How about you?
Good, good. Luckily I was able to get it out and go for a ride, so that was pretty cool. Rode up to Hansville. It was enjoyed the nice weather. Got out with one of my sons.
Where's Hansville?
Where's Hansville? Didn't you grow up here?
Yeah, I did. I'm kind of ashamed by that question.
Wows. Well, you go as if you're driving to Kingston, and then instead of turning right, you keep going straight. Point, no point.
Okay.
Point, no point.
I used to live in Kingston. I feel like I should know this.
You definitely should.
How long did that ride take?
It's only what's that?
How long did the ride take?
It was a little less than 3 hours. All right. Well, Stephanie's here, and Talina, and Chuck, and Ted. Um, all of our friends are here. It's so exciting. And hopefully we're not going green screen and it's freezing up like we did yesterday.
Yeah. Can you guys see us? If you can, can you?
No, I'm just faking it. I'm good. Ha ha ha! I'm not actually frozen. Chuck says it's not working. Actually, that's lame. Did you restart your phone?
Restart the app. I did.
Oh, okay. Well, it's super lame. I'm gonna end this and restart. But this time, I'm just gonna try and get you on the phone. Let's see if I can do that.
Okay.
Super lame. Delete video. Sorry, everybody. Technical problems. Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, this is gonna have to work.
This will have to do. So, hello again, everybody.
Hello.
This time it's just Matt from 11, and Natalya's here on the audio.
You can hear my voice. Hello.
They can totally hear you, no problem. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, let's proceed. This is why I made a little sign, which is forward for those of you who it reads forward for those of you who are watching on Facebook. For those of you who are on Instagram, it reads backward, but it's got Natalya's name up there.
I'm there in spirit.
Okay, well, hey Natalya. So a pun and a play on words and a limerick walk into a bar.
Okay.
No joke.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you that one. I like it.
All right, thanks. Well, everybody, welcome to the 11 Winery Virtual Happy Hour, bringing together the 11 Nation for great wine fun, online style, not Instagram split screen style, because Instagram split screen is not working for us right now. So yeah. Anyway, we've got Natalya on the audio, Facebook and Instagram, and anyway, just because we can't see her doesn't mean she isn't tasting the wine. She is, trust me.
Oh yes.
And and I hope you guys are tasting the wine. Let us know what you're drinking in the comments, and if you have any questions or anything, put those in there too. Just because you're staying home, staying safe, does not mean you have to stay sober. Yeah. Trust me on that one. I'm Matt Albee, founder and winemaker of 11 Winery, and on the audio is
Me, Natalya Niehaus. I'm a happiness engineer.
And she's down in our Winslow tasting room location, which is not open for tasting, so we should stop calling it that. But it is open for bottle sales if you run low on wine. So today we are tasting. So this week we're tasting the wines from the new Wine Club release. So today we are tasting the 2019 La Primavera. John Brenner's drinking his homemade rosé. Wow, nice.
Ooh.
You'll have to tell us how that is, John. All right, so I've got some. Natalya, do you have some going?
Oh, yes. I'm ready.
All right. 2019 rosé, beautiful.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Oh, it smells so good.
So my inspiration for rosé is this little region in the Rhone of France called Tavel, and a winery there called Tranquevidel that makes this really beautiful rosé. It's got a little bit more color than is fashionable these days. Really pale rosés have become kind of fashionable for whatever reason. I like mine to be a little bit more vivid pink and have a little bit more berry character. Thank you guys all for joining. And so this one, let's get into it. Smells amazing. I've been so excited about this vintage ever since it finished fermentation and we started being able to taste and smell what the final wine was going to taste like. I've been super excited about it, and it does not disappoint. It smells fantastic.
This was the first bottle I cracked open in my release, and I was so excited for it.
Oh my gosh! Awesome.
Smell was kind of like peachy to me. Maybe a little strawberry.
And yeah, it's got lots of great berry character, and I love the fact that it's got some herbal characters to it, a little bit of grassiness. I just love that. I don't know where that comes from because you won't find that in any of the wines made from the grapes that went into this at all. But there it is, right there in the rosé. Maybe we sucked it all out of those, and it's only in the rosé.
Well, it tastes like bottled spring, honestly.
I know, right? Perfect. And hey, guess what La Primavera means? Spring.
I wonder.
Spring, baby.
Spring.
Perfect wine for today. I mean, it doesn't get more spring than today. I mean, it's fantastic out there.
I mean, the La Primavera is a perfect backyard drinking wine, front yard drinking wine, in the house drinking wine.
In isolation drinking wine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's easy drinking, too.
And the composition of this. So this wine, for all you guys out there, so this is a Saignée rosé. Saignée is a French word, means bleeding, because we bleed when we make it because it's so painful. Not true at all. I made that up. We try actually. I mean, I do tend to skin my knuckles during harvest every year. Like, hands are wet, soft, cold. Don't notice, banging on stuff.
So you're putting your sweat.
I promise no blood ever gets in the wine. I promise. But don't worry, nothing that can make you sick can live in wine. It's cool. But but the reason it's called Saignée, the French for bleeding, is because you bleed some of the juice out of the tank. So the way we make this is we harvest the grapes to make red wine. We let them soak, crush the grapes, let them soak for a little while, get a nice, just the right amount of color into the juice, and then pull some of that juice out. You know, anywhere between like 10 and 20% of the juice out of those tanks. Those go on to become richer, darker red wine because we've taken some of the juice out. And we take that juice and we settle it and ferment it cold, and it becomes this amazing rosé by Saignée. And Natalya.
Yes.
What do you like to eat with some rosé?
Typically, I mean, if I'm snacking, I've said this before and I'll say it again, but melon and prosciutto, hands down, are absolutely a good go-to.
How do I not have some of that? Damn it.
I know. What are you doing? I can't see you, but I'm disappointed. We've said salmon a million times, but I was also thinking, you know, we had in this release a bunch of recipes on the tasting notes, and on it was a rosé and shrimp scampi, which sounds absolutely phenomenal with the La Primavera, and there is even La Primavera just a little bit cooked into the sauce. I think I'll post it to you guys so you guys have access to it after, so you can make it at home.
It's probably the most food-friendly wine that we make because it kind of straddles that land between red wine and white wine. Um, so it can pair well with a lot of different things, like my little hand motions.
So,
that looks way cooler on the video than it does in real life.
see, I have no idea.
You'll have to go back and watch it later. And
Oh yeah.
uh, um, I like the rosé with a nice big fat brownie or piece of chocolate cake. Kind of surprising
Ooh.
pairing that works really well. Even though the rosé is totally dry and the brownies are very sweet. And normally you're trying to match the sweetness of the wine with the food. Um, but for some reason that works really well. I guess maybe it's the berry character that goes with the chocolate, something like that. John Brenner suggests Indian food.
Ooh.
Um, also halibut. Those would be good too.
Yum.
For
So
sure.
you said, it being a food friendly, it kind of crosses with the reds and whites. What grapes are in this specific bottle?
Oh yeah, good question. So there's Syrah, Mourvèdre, Malbec, Lemberger, and Tempranillo. So it's about,
Wow.
and that kind of running down from 25% of Syrah down to about 12% of Tempranillo. So in descending order. And the composition, it's the same grapes that were in last year's. The composition is a little bit different in terms of how much of which.
Okay.
And that's going to change. We're always looking for balance, and so we use the Saignée not just to make the Primavera, but also to balance the red wines too. And so, depending on the ripeness status of how those come in, um, it changes how much juice we might pull out.
Huh. That's pretty cool that it stays relatively the same in composition every year, but the flavor profile is going to be a little bit different based on the vintage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And how much time on the skins really depends uh, on the grape variety. Like Syrah skins tend to soften up prior to harvest, and so we destem those and we pull the juice out immediately because
Oh.
there's a ton of color in there. And if we were to make rosé just out of that, it would be really dark. It would be at least twice as dark as this. So in
Oh.
fact, the other juices uh, act to kind of lighten that up. Um, I know that I've got it right if it looks too dark. Um,
Okay.
because some of the color will drop out during fermentation. Um, so you've got to kind of, it feels really risky. You feel like, oh, that's too dark. I don't know if it's going to work out. But um, it always manages to work out. And so the Syrah will pull it off right away. And we have to be set up to do that. Like most crush days, all we're doing is crushing grapes. We try not to do anything else. But for Syrah, we have to be ready to go with the pump and the Saignée tube. The Saignée tube is basically it's also called the rocket because it's this big
Ooh.
stainless steel cylinder with like what looks like a nose cone, and so it's a big stainless steel cylinder that's perforated so juice can flow in, and then there's another tube that goes down the center of it to the bottom so you can pump juice out. So juice flows in through the holes and runs down to the bottom where it gets pumped out. Saignée tube. So we got to run the Saignée, we got to run the pump and the Saignée tube like at the same time that we're crushing. So we'll finish crushing a tank, move it aside, pump the juice out right away, just so that it doesn't get too dark. With other varieties, it's more like 24 hours. Like with all the other varieties, tend to have much tougher skins and don't release the color as quickly. So that's true of Mourvèdre and Malbec and Lemberger. All those guys, much tougher skins. So
Okay.
we can go 24 hours or more and not have a whole lot of color come out, just a little bit. Yeah.
Oh wow. So how long
Somebody
is
just had La Primavera with butternut squash lasagna. Yum. Ah,
wow.
I need to make you some butternut squash lasagna. That's delicious.
Butternut squash is absolutely one of the greatest of the squashes. I think it's got that sweet characteristic. Wow, in lasagna.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Well, now it's time for side-by-side comparison with the 2018 Primavera. So last year's Primavera, of which there's at least one bottle left because I have another one in the fridge that's not open yet. But we're coming to the
Oh,
very. Go
we
ahead.
have a decent amount down here at the tasting room in Winslow. If you
And
still
by a
want to pick
decent
up
amount,
some
you
too.
mean
I'm
100
looking
cases?
I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4,
I got you,
4.5
Lisa.
cases.
Hi, Katya. Um, 4.5 cases. Yeah. So that's probably about the sum total of what's left of the 2018 vintage. So if you're into that 2018 vintage, someone looks like some Canadian Girl 6. Hello. And all right, so now we have the 2018. You can tell because it's in a different shape glass. All right. I would try and pour you some, but I don't think it'll be as effective without you on the screen. All right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can see the color's almost the same. 2018 is a little bit more orangey and a little bit less of that herbal kind of grassy characteristic and more fruit.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's that year that it's had in the bottle, super smooth, really easy drinking. Now people in the comments are saying hi to each other.
I love it.
I wonder. So yeah, so that's so there's just, if you guys like that 2018, get it now because it's almost gone. The 2019 will be around for quite a while because we have more than we've ever had by a significant amount. We have almost 300 cases. It's actually one of our bigger bigger production wines.
This is very exciting to know.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my first ever case of wine that I bought, like right after I turned 21, was a case of the 2017 La Primavera.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The first case of wine I ever bought was from you, Matt.
Nice.
And it was, hands down. I love, it's rosé all day, rosé season. It's my jam.
No doubt. Why did we make? Somebody's asking, well, why is there more of the 19 Primavera than we've had in the past? Well, excellent question. And so I mentioned earlier that it's a Saignée rosé, so it's made from the red wines, and fundamentally, so it's because we increased our red tonnage by a lot this past harvest. We just made a bunch more wine, red wine. And so, since this rosé is in a way like a side product of the red wines, we have more. Yeah, which is good because we almost, this year I thought for sure we were going to run out. And if the tasting room had not been shut down a few weeks ago, we definitely would have run out of the 18 before we ran into the 19. And so I like to have rosé, available all year, if at all possible, because it's fantastic year round.
Yeah.
Easy, and so I'm psyched that we have more of it. Just means we're not likely going to run out before next year.
That's actually really comforting because I feel in the tasting rooms, the rosé is a big bottle purchase when people are coming in to just have drinks with friends. It's a easy go-to.
Yeah, right on. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Hold, please.
Yeah, Matt. Okay, fixed. No worries. I can run all these technologies. I'm running. This is crazy now. I have 3 streams going. I've got the Facebook stream, I've got the Instagram stream, and then I've got you on the FaceTime audio stream. Sheesh.
Change your title to technology guru, then, Matt.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to be the technology. I want to be the winemaker. That's but
Yeah.
hey, for you guys, I will figure this out so that we can bring you great wine fun all the time, even in isolation. So, what else can I learn you about Primavera? What else would you like to know, Natalya, or anybody else who's out there?
How long did this rosé age in the tanks?
Okay, good question. Well, we bottled it on March 18th of this year, so just a few weeks ago. And aging in tanks, it's tricky because the harvest dates of all those grapes that he mentioned, Syrah, Mourvèdre, Malbec, Lemberger, Tempranillo, they're all harvested at different times. So that usually the Tempranillo would be first. I think in the 2019 vintage, the Syrah was actually first. Every vintage things are a little bit different. Usually harvest order is pretty predictable, but for whatever reason, we brought in Syrah before Tempranillo. And so we did the Saignée on the Syrah, we get that juice going, and then the Tempranillo comes in, and we pull the juice out of that, settle it, and then add it to the stuff that's already fermenting. And then next thing in would have been the Lemberger. Um, so we do the same thing on the Saignée and add it. So little by little, the uh, the fermentation grows, and then we'll divide it into two tanks. It's kind of like sourdough starter almost. Divide it into
Oh,
two tanks, add more juice to it, split it again into three tanks. So we ended up with three tanks of this by the end, and then and it was one of the very very last fermentations to finish because by the end it's pretty cold, like the weather's cold, and so the winery is cold and the fermentation is slow, and we kind of have to kick it, get it going again. Hey guys, you little yeasty guys, keep working. Don't quit now. You're almost there. Um, um, and so it probably didn't finish up until end of October,
oh wow.
early November. So yeah, so it was yeah. So then it was rested for a few months in tanks before we uh, got it going again, or before we bottled it. But it was not that long.
Oh well, I mean, it sounds, from my point of view, it sounds like a bit tedious of work to get it done. But as a winemaker, is this
Yes.
a more
Why?
fun
Yes. Go ahead and
wine
finish.
to make?
I love making this wine because like we actually feel like we're doing something. Um, we're not just making juice, adding yeast, and keeping track. Um, we're making decisions about how much juice to extract, um, how long to wait before we extract it, adding it in, doing all the stuff. I mean, ultimately, it's still nature is determining most of those things for us, but we're making something happen. So it's fun.
So
Yeah,
you
it's super fun. I love this wine.
do you feel a little bit like a mad scientist when you're working on
Definitely.
the rosé?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, that's
If
fun.
I pause before answering, it's because I'm taking a sip of wine. Sorry.
Rightfully so.
You can't see that. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might even like the 2018 more than the 2018.
I actually really do enjoy those grassy notes to it. I think it really
Yeah.
gives it kind of something else that makes you think.
It's a little bit more crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that probably has somewhat to do with the uh, 19 being a little bit cooler vintage, so a little bit more uh, acidity, naturally occurring acidity in the grapes.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Um,
Oh,
Anybody else have any other questions? Do you have any other questions?
I'm trying to think. I feel
What
like,
kind of
well, here's something interesting. I mean, if you could change one of the varietals that are in this composition of the rosé,
mm-hmm.
what would you choose? Like, what would you kind of mess around with?
Oh gosh. Let me think about that. Some years, the composition has changed, definitely changed over time, and some years like there hasn't been any Syrah in it. Like if the grapes come in, if the grapes come in like perfectly balanced, and we don't want to pull any juice out, we don't want to mess with them, which does happen. Um, then they won't go into the rosé. Like some years the Syrah has come in like just right, and has not been a part of that. And because it contributes so much color, there have been years where we've actually put in like a little bit of Petit Verdot because and because if you when we let it soak for 24 hours before we pull some juice out, and Petit Verdot has so much color, it's really 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 dark. So we'll let it soak for 24 hours, and just pull out like a few gallons of Petit Verdot juice and add that in, and that's enough to just color the whole thing up. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, strawberry. Ted and Cece are having strawberries and Havarti with their rosé.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, you
I
guys.
remember growing up, Havarti was hands down my favorite cheese.
That does sound good. Um, so as far as and one of the things I think really makes this rosé great is the Lemberger component. It's got great acid and great bold fruit. Um, uh, and the Morvet, it's got the Morvet in there, um, and that's pulled out from the Morvet that we use to make the Prodigy and the Sugarloaf Vineyard or the Deputy Morvets. Um, we probably won't necessarily up the percentage of that because I love to make the white Morvet when if we have extra Morvet juice, we're probably going to add it to the white Morvet. But yeah, and actually we're planning on increasing our production of Lemberger this year.
Ooh.
Yeah. See, people, this is why you tune into our virtual happy hour, because you find out stuff that nobody knows because it's only up here.
Yeah.
Um,
Were you pointing at your head?
I was, yeah. And so, like, Natalya probably didn't know that even until just now.
Yeah, this news to me. Very exciting news.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully things get back to normal soon so that we can continue with those production increases as planned. Yeah.
So we just recently bottled
Can
our
I
pink
can I can
bubbly.
I can I answer? So I just thought of
Oh, you
one thing to go with your previous question about like what would I want to do to mess with the composition. There's another wine. The wine that we're going to taste tomorrow is Carmenere, and our first ever varietal Carmenere, and that is one where uh, we considered adding some of that to the rosé, um, but man, uh, so we pulled a little bit of juice out and tasted it just to see whether it was something that we would want to contribute to the Primavera, because you could just put your face down over the tank and sniff it and you could smell the green pepper. And
Ooh.
yeah, so we pulled some of the juice out and sipped it, and I said, no way in hell am I putting that in my rosé, because it just tasted so much like green pepper. It was bonkers. As you will see tomorrow, wows, green pepper serious. So so we didn't do any Saignée on the Carmenere. I mean,
Okay.
it's a lovely wine, and with age that the green pepper character has diminished somewhat, and become really nicely integrated with the fruit. So it's good stuff, but I don't think it wasn't what we wanted in the rosé. Okay.
Okay. But so I was thinking we just recently bottled our pink heart bubbly in 2020.
Right. Yeah.
And so that is a rosé bubbles. Is that essentially the same as our 2019 rosé with sparkles, or how does that work?
So the Pink Heart Bubbly was 2018 Primavera that
Okay.
we held some of it back. I mean, like basically one barrel's worth in a small tank, um, that we held from last year until December, and then made it all bubbly and bottled it like that. And next year, here's more top secret info, people. Shh, don't tell anyone. Next year there won't be any white bubbly. There will be extra pink bubbly because
Ooh,
I like the pink bubbly way more.
the
Um,
pink bubbly is awesome.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I was really happy with it too. So so next year we'll have more pink bubbly. We still only will have a tiny amount because wow, it's really uh, physically taxing to make that stuff. Um, it's just a lot of work. So we're still. I mean, it'll still only be about 75 cases total, because that's about all we have the stomach for, honestly. But we'll have, and we're going to do the red bubbly again too. But we're going to do we'll do 2 barrels worth of uh, pink and 1 barrel worth of red.
Oh
And
wow.
I think that the white's all sold out, right? I think
Yep.
we have pink, but the white's all sold out. And is the red all sold out, or is there any of that left?
I have no red bubbly here,
Yeah.
but I do have some pink bubbly here for anybody that is listening and wants to come down and stock up, especially for Easter Sunday. That's a perfect brunch.
Is Easter still
Brunch.
happening?
I mean, if you're staying at home, I don't think that doesn't not happen.
The calendar still works. We're not just frozen. It feels like Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, we're
I know.
reliving the same
I'm
day.
pretty sure it's February 2nd still.
Last time I checked.
Um, there might be, if we did it right, there might be a very small amount of white bubbly left, and a very small amount of red bubbly left. And if you keep on our mailing list for a little while longer, there might be gift sets with white, pink, and red available sometime later on.
Oh my gosh.
Pro tip: look for that. But probably only like 12, if that. So
the more you know.
Armetha says she's having Primavera for Easter. So perfect. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Ham, awesome, perfect wine to have with Easter food. Absolutely.
I mean, if you're just thinking about colors, the pink from the ham and the pink from the rosé in itself.
Yeah, be careful with that because color is not always your best indication. I mean, just basically because classic example, tomato sauce, and red wine, not so much. You got to be really careful with your tomato sauce. Tomato sauces have high acid. A lot of modern red wines have low acid, and they do not go. It is they will the tomato sauce will wreck the red wine. And so careful with color.
There you go.
And just word of caution. That's all. Just I ask you to be careful. But you can pretty much drink the pink wine with everything. I mean, I can't think of too many things that I wouldn't eat with it, honestly. I mean, there might be better pairings for some things, maybe, but yeah,
maybe.
Is there something that you might want to have in place of rosé someday? Maybe.
But let's table that.
Yeah. For future discussion. Well, any other burning questions, Natalya?
Not any burning questions.
Smoldering? Smoking? Luke, we're going to leave aside anything that's not at least smoldering.
Yes, lukewarm, nah.
Yeah, we don't want the lukewarm questions. All right. So, I see Dorothy's there. Yes, let's see. The crew watching are helping each other out with food recommendations in the comments. Thank you guys. That's awesome.
Oh, I love that.
I wonder why people on Instagram are so much more comment happy than people on Facebook. I'm sure there's people watching on Facebook, but I mean, other than there's a few of them. Thank you guys. But on Instagram, man, you guys are awesome on Instagram. Facebook people got to light it up tomorrow because we're about to say goodbye. All right.
You got to step up the game.
The next release will have what? Roxanne, do you mean the next, like the July release? Because the April release is out. The April release is the White Mourvedre, the La Primavera, and the Tempranillo. The July release will be the Chenin Blanc, and I don't remember. Ask me again tomorrow, and I will try to remember to look that up. Or email me, matt@11winery.com. I don't have the information. Happy to have. Maria, why are you switching back to Instagram? Oh, because you want to see the comments?
There you go.
I don't know. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining us. It's been super fun. I don't know what's going on with the split screen Instagram thing, why that's not working for us. I don't know what to tell you. And if you need more wine, you know where to find us. Find us online. Find us in the tasting room for bottle sales. Free shipping for 6 more bottles. And hang in there, people. We got this.
We're all in this together.
We're gonna get through it, no matter what. And no matter whether your glass is half empty or half full, there's room for more wine.
Always.
We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, Natalya.
Bye.
Mm-mm-mm.